Oh, am I a host?
Oh,
no,
are you?
it is recording. Okay.
Yeah. How do I pin myself so that I'm the face that everyone sees, you know?
Let's see. Oh, it's not giving me permission to record.
Oh,
So I think under your participants, if you click on participants and then you go to me, you can make me a co-host.
make co-host. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Sorry we got a late start with some technical difficulties, but we're here now, and that's what matters. My name is Michelle Garcia, and I'm an educational program coordinator with the Open Space Authority. And today we're here to talk about some creepy crawlies. Now, if you're anything like me, creepy crawlies is not your favorite subject. Well, actually, it used to be not my favorite subject, but in preparation for this program, I have definitely gained a deeper understanding and appreciation for all those insects that crawl around on the dirt. And I hope at the end of this, you will too. Because although these, insects might be kind of creepy, they have a lot of legs that squirm around on the ground, they actually play a vital role in our ecosystems. They help clean up our habitat as well as create fertile soil for springtime. So sit back and relax. You will see some up-close images of some creepy crawly insects, and that is okay. I have organized my footage in order from organisms with the least amount of legs to the most amount of legs so that we can work our way up. So if you're anything like me, I love hiking around in the fall because fall means cooler temperatures, longer nights, more rain. Everything in the habitat just seems to be so relieved when they finally get some rain. But the one thing I didn't really like is that all of those amazing bugs come out. But those bugs are actually a part of a system called decomposers. Now, these decomposers are made up by the FBI, which stands for fungus, bacteria, and invertebrates. Today, we're mostly just going to be talking about vertebrates, but I can still introduce to you the idea of fungus. So fungus includes mushrooms, slime molds, mold that you see on any kind of bread. That is a decomposer working to break down dead and decaying material in the forest. So that means any kind of fallen leaves, any dead or decaying bodies of animals in the forest, as well as any leftover feces. Fungus helps clean all that stuff out so that it doesn't remain in the forest for long. Another decomposer is bacteria. Bacteria also helps to break down all of that nasty stuff in the forest. Without bacteria, all of that dead and decaying material would just exist in the forest. Hiking would not be much fun. It would be very gross. You'd be stepping on cow poop everywhere in our nature preserves. It would not be the best. But luckily, bacteria is everywhere. It's even in you and me working to digest and break down nasty leftover material. Now, last but not least, we have invertebrates, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, if you look down at the ground and reach your hand, if you're able to, at the back of your neck, you'll be able to feel your spine, otherwise known as your vertebrae. If you have a dog or cat or some kind of animal at home, you can scratch them behind their little head, give them some pets, and you'll be able to feel their spine or their vertebrae. That means they are a vertebrate. They have a spine. These animals that we're going to be talking about today do not have a spine. They have no vertebrae, which means they are invertebrates. Most of these animals are insects, and they're mostly small. So I've gotten out into the forest to go out to get some up-close footage for all of you guys. If after this program you are interested in taking a closer look at some invertebrates, feel free to use the same strategy as I did. Most of these creatures are nocturnal, so you can find them hiding under rocks or logs. If you do turn over a rock or a log in a habitat, please make sure to put that rock or log in the same exact spot once you're done, because that is someone's home and we want to return it as we found it. So I'm going to share my screen with you all. All of these invertebrates that we're going to be looking at today are vertebrates that you can find anywhere in the Santa Clara Valley. Well, I did take this footage in the Santa Cruz County, so there are some organisms that you probably won't find in San Jose, but all of the vertebrates we'll be talking about can be found in the Santa Clara Valley. And if you stay tuned to the very end of the program, I actually have a special guest, a one-of-a-kind vertebrate here that will help me answer all of your questions. So I hope you enjoyed this video that I took, and I hope this gets you comfortable and used to looking at invertebrates that might be around you and in your backyard. Let's check it out.
Hey, Michelle, if you'd like to talk and describe a little bit of what you're looking at and your experience in finding it, that would be great.
Oh, is the audio not playing?
No, it's not. So we have somebody asking about the sound.
No.
Please narrate, please narrate.
All right, I will narrate. All right, so what you missed is here we have an earthworm. It has permeable skin, so I was very careful about trying not to touch it too much because any kind of like bug spray or soap you might have on your hands could affect it. It's covered in all kinds of tiny ring-like segments if you look really closely at its body. And those ring-like segments are covered in small barbs that actually helps it push its way through the earth. And those little barbs actually help it create these tunnels that we're looking at right now. Here you can see a couple of earthworms actually moving through the tunnels. These tunnels help to aerate the earth, help spread nutrients and minerals deep into the soil. Different species of earthworm travel different depths into the earth. This species likes to hang out at the very surface, but some earthworms like to go as deep as 6.5 feet. Here is a zoomed out view. I want you guys to try to see how many earthworms can you actually spot in this frame. There's actually 3 different earthworms in this frame. They blend in very well to their soil. There's also a few other invertebrates right here that we're going to be talking about. Thank you so much for your help, little earthworm. Bye-bye, little one. And in this frame, you can actually see a beetle crawling around to the left, as well as a little slug. This slug also has amazing camouflage, so you can't quite see it, but that's going to be our next invertebrate that we're going to be talking about. All right, this slug also has permeable skin. Whenever you're touching something, any kind of soft or gooey in the forest, you always want to be careful that you don't have any bug spray on your hands. But my hands are mostly just covered with dirt, so that's all that's going to be getting on this slug. So as you see the slug start to move down my hand, you'll see 2 small tentacles coming out of its face. Those are actually its optic tentacles. So that's how it can see. It's got 2 little eye tentacles that move around independently of each other. It also has 2 mouth tentacles directly below its optical tentacles, and that helps it eat and move around. So slugs and snails are important decomposers, but they don't have any kind of teeth or horns or anything that they can defend themselves with. But instead, they use their slime. Slugs are incredibly slimy creatures, and if they feel threatened, they can become even slimier in the hopes that they will become unappealing to any predators that might try to eat them. Although slugs are known to be slow, they actually can move pretty fast. Fast enough that if you put a slug down and look away from it, you'll lose it. It also has great camouflage abilities. So if you're looking for slugs in the forest like I was, I recommend you keep a close eye on them because they can be difficult to find. All right, thanks for hanging out with us, little slug. Bye-bye. All right, up for our next invertebrate is a little tiny beetle. I believe this species of beetle, or this beetle would be in the darkling beetles group. I'm not great at identifying specific beetle species because a lot of them look alike. But with this kind of body shape and this coloration, I'm pretty sure it's a part of the darkling beetle family. So obviously the slugs and the earthworm had no invertebrate, they had no spine. Because they were soft and squishy. But you'll see this beetle has a hard exoskeleton or a hard shell. Although it doesn't have a spine, it still has its hard shell to protect itself and keep it stable and structured. Now, this creature has 6 legs, although you can only see 5 here. I promise I found this beetle just like that. There are no beetles harmed in the making of this footage. I think it's also missing antenna. So another specific species of beetle that you can find in the darkling beetle family is the stink beetle. A lot of darkling beetles are capable of secreting a stinky, smelly solution to try to deter predators. What they'll do is they'll stand on all of their legs and put their head down and their butt up. And that is their warning sign to tell you that they do not want you around and they're about to spray you with a stinky solution. Like all decomposers, these beetles help eat dead and decaying material in the forest. Dead leaves, scat, dead decaying bodies in the forest. They really just help to keep the forest nice and clean for us. Look at that little one go. That's a whole lot of legs. Also, darkling beetles, for the most part, cannot fly, which is why they've adopted this stinking form of protecting themselves. And if they can fly, they very rarely fly, probably in a last resort. Bye-bye, little beetle. Hope you have a good day. All right, now we're really getting into some decomposers with a lot of legs and very fast crawling abilities. Look, we got a roly-poly. otherwise known as a pillbug. Oh gosh, there he goes. Let's try to pick him up again. All right. So pillbugs actually have 7 pairs of legs, so that means 14 total, as well as 2 sensory antennas coming out of their face that you can clearly see here. It helps it smell, see, and just better make sense of its surroundings. Pillbugs are actually not technically an insect, but they're a mollusk. They're the only land-dwelling mollusk, so they're in the same family as lobsters, crabs, and all kinds of good stuff. They're known as a species of wood lice. So rather than finding them underneath rocks, you're probably going to find them underneath dead pieces of wood or logs, like I found this one. They are also decomposers. They help burrow down into the earth, eat dead material, and they actually play a special role by eating heavy minerals in the earth. Because they're a mollusk, they rely on heavy minerals like zinc and calcium to eat. And so they'll take those heavy metals out of the earth and eat them for themselves. Bye-bye, little roly-poly. Have a great day. Oh, okay, we got a lot of legs coming up here, so prepare yourselves. We're moving into the realm of centipedes and millipedes. Here you see a whole colony of millipedes sleeping because, like I said, they are nocturnal. And here we have a centipede. The orange, very fastly crawling creature is a centipede, whereas those other spiraled ones are millipedes. You can tell this is a centipede because if you look closely, you'll see that its body is made up of many segments, all stacked on top of each other. Coming out of each segment is 1 pair of legs. That's how you know it's a centipede. You can also see that its legs are coming straight out of the sides of its body. That's another defining feature of a centipede. So centipedes actually aren't decomposers. They are predators. They eat living insects, sometimes other invertebrates and centipedes. The larger, more tropical centipedes actually eat birds and lizards. So we're not going to spend a ton of time talking about this guy, but he is pretty cool. And as you can see, they're kind of aggressive. I don't recommend touching any centipedes. I was very careful about getting this into the bowl. Most of them are poisonous and do excrete a substance that will irritate your skin. Hey there, little guy. The way their legs move is just crazy to me. The little waves that it's making. Ah, very cool. All right, bye-bye, little one. All right, time to dig into some actual decomposers, otherwise known as the millipede. So these millipedes have many names. They're called cyanide millipedes, the almond-scented millipedes, the clown millipedes, the yellow-spotted millipedes, and this is because of the black exterior and the yellow spots it has. This specific millipede is also capable of spraying cyanide at its attackers. Cyanide is a poisonous substance. If it gets on a human, it will similarly create like a rash or maybe blister. I definitely don't recommend eating one of these. But as you can see, they are much less aggressive than the predatorial centipede that we were just looking at. This little one is just chill, just kind of wandering around. It's kind of snoozy. He was asleep. Sorry for bugging you. And if we look closely, you can see the small ring-like segments that its body is made up of. And you can see there are 2 pairs of legs coming from each segment, whereas centipedes only had 1 pair of legs coming out of each segment. That's how you know this is a millipede and not a centipede. There are many different species of millipedes out there. Most of them are kind of like a brownish red color to help camouflage with the earth that they live in. But this millipede, the cyanide millipede, wants you to know that it is poisonous. That's why it has these bright yellow spots for a warning color. No. Hey there, little guy. Ah, this millipede is so cool. And as you can see, it also has a hard exterior shell, just like that beetle we were looking at. It does not have a spine because it is an invertebrate, but it does use its outer shell to help protect itself, as well as its cyanide spraying abilities. Oh. All right. Goodbye, little millipede. Hope you have a great time sleeping with all your buddies. And this is actually our last decomposer. All right, I'm so sorry for those technical difficulties. Sorry for those technical difficulties. I know some of that footage might have been a little creepy. There was a lot of legs in there, but like I mentioned before, they play a really vital role. They are kind of like the Roombas of the forest. Those invertebrates will wander around the forest floor, eating up all of that dead, nasty material so that the forest is clean and healthy. But they really don't stop there. They recycle all of those nutrients that they ate from that dead material and turn it into fertile, delicious soil. All of that soil that they help fertilize creates springtime blooms, our food and our agriculture, and they do a really great job. I have another, just a short 60-second video of you to prove to you that these decomposers are doing an amazing job of helping protect our landscape. So here we have a video of Coyote Ridge. Now, Coyote Ridge is one of the nature preserves that we help protect.
Hey, Michelle,
as you can see, in the spring comes all kinds of amazing blooms here. The reason for this is because of its unique soil. Just like every habitat has unique plants and animals there are also unique decomposers and soil composition in every ecosystem. And the decomposers here help keep this soil clean and also help to make these springtime blooms that much more beautiful.
Hey, Michelle.
Soil here is unique because it also has serpentine in it.
We can't see the video.
Rare and beautiful flowers growing here. Oh, I didn't share my screen, did I?
No, try it again, try it again.
Oh man, sorry everyone.
There you go.
There you go. Where am I looking for? There we go. These are the beautiful gold fields of Coyote Ridge. And also because each ecosystem has its own unique soil composition and its own decomposers, you want to be careful about what you leave behind on the ground because it's the decomposer's job to clean that up. But if it's not something that's naturally found there, the decomposers will have a hard time creating all of this beautiful fertile soil. So if you have an apple core or a granola bar wrapper, you can't just leave it behind in an ecosystem because the decomposers are going to have to try to clean that up, but they can't process plastic or things like apples or orange peels that they're not used to finding in their own natural environment. So if you go out to preserve and you love the beautiful scenery that you find and all of that beautiful clean trails, you have our decomposers and our creepy invertebrates to thank. And a way that you can help them is by helping remove any trash that you see in the trails or in the forest that you find. All right, it's time for some questions and answers. Thank you guys for joining me for all this time. I have a special guest to help me answer all of our questions. It is actually a banana slug. A banana slug is very similar to the slug that you saw in our video, except it's very large. So it is an expert on all things that consider decomposers and invertebrates. So let's open up our Q&A chat.
So we're actually doing pretty good. I did see that Melissa's hand was up earlier. So Melissa, if you can type your question into the Q&A feature, that would be awesome. Anybody else, please go ahead and do the same, and then the banana slug can answer.
Thank you. I saw someone said that they love how much I respect these creatures. Thank you. They definitely don't get a lot of recognition because a lot of people do think they're creepy, which they are kind of smelly and have a lot of legs. But they do a really great job.
I have a question for you. Is that thing slimy right there?
Oh, this thing is so slimy. Just like the slug we saw in the video, this banana slug doesn't have, any claws or legs that it can really quickly escape with. So instead it uses its slime. I don't know about other slugs, but banana slugs actually, the slime they secrete when they're stressed will actually start to numb the nerves in your mouth. It's not poisonous or anything, but if an animal starts to eat the banana slug, it will think it's been poisoned because its mouth went numb, and it'll throw the banana slug back up, all like half chewed and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good stuff. Oh, look, you can see a really good view of its little optical tentacles and its little mouth tentacles. Oh, it's very cool. And unfortunately, you won't be able to find any banana slugs in the Santa Clara Valley or in probably any of our nature preserves, but you will see all of the other invertebrates that we've talked about today. If you are interested in finding a banana slug, you're welcome to hop on over to the other side of the hill in Santa Cruz County or up in Oregon, Washington, up to the coast, and you will probably find lots of banana slugs, especially at this time of year. Fall is their time to shine. Hi, that little banana slug. Can banana slugs extend their body? I notice sometimes they get bigger. Yeah, that's a great question. Another one of their defense mechanisms is that they'll actually condense their body and make their bodies extremely rigid. Whereas if they're trying to get away, they'll spread out and kind of expand their body. It's also easier for them to eat when they've expanded their body like this. Since we've been in such a bad drought, have the banana slugs suffered a lot? We see banana slugs in Foothills Park in Palo Alto. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know you could find slugs in Palo Alto. Banana slugs can go into a state of hibernation if it's too dry. They actually are pretty good at digging into the ground just a little bit, and they'll just hide there. So I too have worried about the banana slug during the drought. But if you visit Santa Cruz, you'll find that the banana slug population seems extremely healthy. We are just about out of time for today. I'm going to stick around and answer a few more questions, but if you have to go, thank you so much for joining me here today. I had a lot of fun. All right, another question about banana slug. When it gets regurgitated by a predator, would it die most of the time or would it survive? You know what? That's a good question. I'm not super sure. I do know banana slugs are pretty hardy creatures because they don't have any bones that would break. They're pretty flexible. It takes a lot to try to kill a banana slug. So I think most of the time it would survive. Let's see, what else have we got? Banana slugs are the mascot of UC Santa Cruz. They're pretty cool creatures. All right, looks like that's all we've got. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I had a great time, and I hope you guys did too. So without further that, bye-bye. I hope you guys have a great time, and I hope you enjoy trying to find some decomposers out on your hikes. Bye-bye.